Good evening, participants. Welcome to NIPID webinar series. On behalf of Director NIPID, Dr. Anuradha Dalmia ma'am, Deputy Director Major Ram Kumar sir, I'm welcoming to all the participants for this today's webinar. This webinar on stress management and COVID mechanisms regarding COVID-19. So NIPID is organizing a series of webinars in these week-long programs. So till the date, we conducted 5 webinars. One is in regional webinar for Telangana and Andhra Pradesh people. So today's webinar is focusing on stress management during COVID-19, presenting by Dr. Sri Krishna sir. Krishna sir is faculty Department of Rehabilitation Psychology, head of the department, Library and Management Information Services. Sir is a course coordinator for MPhil Rehabilitation Psychology, license officer for SC and ST programs. Sir is having a lot of experience in rehabilitation of persons with intellectual disabilities and other professionals. So having a vast experience in this field, today sir will share components and experiences regarding the stress related aspects. So how to cope up with the stress factors and different type of stress, especially the category of people who will face maximum amount of stress. And now the situation is a pandemic situation, COVID-19 situation. A lot of people are facing the stress related factors. Because of this factor, people attempting to the suicide kind of things and so many medical issues. So one example I would like to share. Last month, our ministry, Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, launched one flagship program, mental health helpline throughout the country. It's a mental health rehabilitation helpline program for all the Kiran mental health helpline. So in this mental health helpline, we are professionals providing services throughout the country in different languages, approximately 13 languages for the people who are in stress. So what kind of stress factors these persons are facing, what kind of mechanisms we have to follow. As a professional, we are providing guidance and counseling to the needy people. I will share brief information regarding this, what type of calls we are getting from the MHRH, Kiran. So maximum amount of calls we are receiving the younger age group, 20 to 35 years age group students, because of this social isolation and non-availability of services and other factors. So this is the one age group, and another age group, housewives, and middle age group. In that category, a lot of the people are facing the financial stress. So another component, 15 to 20 years of age group students, comparing to the other less percentage in this age group. The severity is high in 20 to 35 years age group. Then the next level, the female category group, housewives. So these two factors are, we are observing a lot of stress levels. So this is a 1 month data as of now, whatever we are receiving from the mental health rehabilitation helpline. So this data we are from the Telangana state only, not other states, because we are the coordinators for the Telangana state. So that is the reason this information I am sharing to you. So with this brief information, I am proceeding to this today's session, stress management. So Dr. Sri Krishna sir will deliver his inputs regarding the category of people and what kind of issues and problems these guys are facing because of non-availability of services or work atmosphere and different kind of isolation issues and other parameters. So there are so many parameters people facing. So what kind of inputs or knowledge kind of information we can share to the needy people. So today's session will give an idea so that they can come out from that stress levels and stress factors, so they can engage a meaningful activity, so freedom of life with this session. I will hope that today's session will definitely helpful to the all the people whoever is having this information required to the needy people. So this today's session, stress management during COVID-19 will definitely helpful to the people. I would like to share few more important information components with regard to the mental health helpline. So ministry launched helpline number. This is the helpline throughout the country. It will throughout the country it will work. The helpline number 1800 599 0019. Once again, I am sharing to you 1800 599 0019. If you dial this number, it has so many options. So you have to choose the option, the state, language. Then by choosing these options, you can get the services from the professional MHRH services. So you will get the services in a local language also, all the regions, it has the facility. So throughout the country, this helpline is available. Another number, one more number, this is for actually PWDs, 080 46 11 0007. 08046110007. So these are the two helpline numbers. The first one, toll free number 1800, is for all the people throughout the country, they can avail the services. The second number 08046110007 is for PWD point of view. Especially we are providing services through this number for intellectual disability category people. Because of this pandemic situation, no services available from the stakeholder side, because all the schools are closed, all the training centers are closed, no educational services are providing services. However, only few organizations, few centers, NGOs are providing services through online. So because of non-availability of center-based services, people are facing so much amount of stress levels, especially from the parents' side. So in a daytime, from the morning to beginning, how to engage their wards, means their student, children's, either male or female or girl students. So what type of activities we have to propose for them, how best we can engage in a meaningful activity. So these information we shared in this second helpline 080 for the PWD category people. The first one is for all the people. So dear professionals, you can share this information. This information is available in the NIPID website, niepid.nic.in. Also in the social media, Facebook, NIPID Facebook. So this information available. You can utilize this information by availing the toll-free dial numbers. Now I welcome to Dr. Sri Krishna sir. Over to Krishna sir.
Very good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Honorable Director Anuradha Dalmia Madam and our respected Honorable Deputy Director Major B.V. Ramkumar, I welcome you all for this webinar on stress management during COVID-19. And you can see on the slide, you can't avoid stress, but you can learn to manage it. So in life, you cannot avoid stress, you cannot avoid problems, you cannot avoid tensions, you cannot avoid challenges. And imagine if you don't have stress, if you don't have problems, if you don't have challenges, don't you think life will become boring? So through stress, through problems, we learn and we grow and we get maturity. Today, I would like to start my presentation with an example. Maybe it looks so funny, but it is necessary to understand how stress can be damaging, how stress can be responsible for suicides, which is the reason for death. First is accident and second is suicide. Every 4 seconds all over the world, people are committing suicide. So now this example, one day in America, you know, America has a lot of big buildings with a lot of floors. In the 87th floor on a terrace, there was a party going on. And suddenly one person came running to one person and said, the person's name is Thomas. Thomas, your son is not your son. Then Thomas, immediately without any thinking, decides, if my son is not my son, there is no reason why should I live. There is no reason that I should commit suicide. Then he jumps from the 87th floor, and he was already in an alcoholic drunken position, so he jumps from 87th floor. And when he was reaching the middle of the building, suddenly realizes he doesn't have a son. And when his head was hitting the floor on the earth, he realizes he is not even married. So it looks so funny and crazy, but life is such that. So this corona, known as COVID-19, has made people's life miserable, and we have very sad examples. And if I am not wrong, somewhere in when this pandemic has started, in somewhere in April, I believe, in Safdarjung Hospital, one person was diagnosed as COVID-19, and after that, within a minute, he went to the top floor of the Safdarjung Hospital and committed suicide. Similarly, due to COVID-19, according to ICD-11, International Classification of Diseases 11, and DSM-5 revised, it says people are developing panic disorder, people are developing hypochondriasis, people developing anxiety disorders, people are developing depression. So it is very necessary to understand how this COVID-19, the challenge thrown at the human beings, how it has damaged mental health of people in India, not only in India, but all over the world. Now, I would like to present the facts. Now, when you look at the diagnosis, when you look at the diagnosis of COVID-19, somewhere about, according to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, Government of India, it was I am presenting the statistics about 20 days ago. The diagnosis is around 67%, but the positive point is the recovery rate. Recovery rate is, sorry, the recovery rate is almost, now it is touching 80, more than 80%. That means people are recovering. And the death rate is less than 2%. But people are not able to realize that the death rate is very slow and people are recovering very fast. In my own family circle, in my own friend circle, in my known circle, nobody has died and everybody has recovered, more than 10 people. Now, let us look at the mind, because in order to understand stress, we have to go to the roots. So let us first look at the mind and what it contains. And of course, the hardware is brain and the software is mind. So it is very, very necessary to understand what mind contains. And generally, we are so careful about when you buy a soap, when you buy a water bottle, you know what is the expiry date, what it contains, and you buy only the whatever you think very safe. But have you ever tried to understand what is mind after all, what it contains? So that we'll look into that now. Okay, before I present the next slide, I would like to tell you, I don't have the text on my system. When a baby or a boy is born, when you're born, your mind is like a tabula rasa, is quoted by John Locke, the famous philosopher. Tabula rasa is upper layer of tabla, the musical instrument. So it is blank. It's like a blank slate. So when the baby is growing, boy also, when the newborn is growing, when it starts interacting with the world, that means significant people, that is mother or grandmother, grandfather, and a family. So what it undergoes certain experiences, and certain experiences are written on the blank slate or tabula rasa. These experiences will become knowledge. And any guess, like when I say mind is a bundle of thoughts, when I say recording out, when I say mind is bundle of thoughts, can anybody tell me, or can anybody unmute and can tell me the answer? When mind contains bundle of thoughts or thousands or lakhs of thoughts, where do these thoughts come from? Where do these thoughts come from? Can anybody answer me? Where do we get these thoughts from? Okay, you can type in question and answers. You can find it on.
From past experience.
Antunara?
From environment.
Okay, somebody say telling past experiences, environment. Okay, for example, if I tell you, now I'm talking through a monitor. Along with the monitor, there is a CPU, central processing unit. Imagine if there's no central processing unit, will I be able to access the monitor? Naturally, no. Similarly, our mind contains something called memory. through memory we get thoughts. And for example, not for example, the memory in the brain, the hippocampus region is responsible along with other neural networks. For example, through some accident, if somebody removes your hippocampus, you won't have any memory. You cannot have thoughts. Everything is new for you. So I'll tell you once again, the mind develops through experiences, through knowledge, and knowledge become memory, and through memory we get thoughts. So some people, so you must have come across certain situations, certain people think positive, everything will be all right. But when your memory contains lot of negative experiences, lot of trauma, lot of problems, lot of tensions, experiences, how can you think positively? So unless you change your memory, unless you modify, unless you restructure, unless you have a new perspective, you can't have positive thoughts. So this is about mind. And again, there is something called the nature of the mind. What is the nature of the mind? When you look at it, now, the nature of the mind, actually on the slide I have put it as domain, but please read it as, that means lost to domain means self, lost to self. Lost to self means you have lost a loved one, a father or a mother, or a person who is very close to you. And when you lost something which is very valuable to you, for example, your cell phone, which is more than important than your body, unfortunately. So when you lose your cell phone, you experience something called emotion called sadness and depression. And when there is a threat to domain, when you're a threat to self, for example, you are going to lose a job, you are going to lose your life, like COVID-19, you develop excessive fear and you undergo anxiety. And violation of domain, like when somebody insults you without any fault of yours, or something happens to you without any behavior of yours, somebody throwing something at you, then you develop anger. And the last one, when there is an expansion to yourself. For example, you got a new cell phone, you got a new car, you are married and got a partner, you are blessed with a child. That means there is an expansion to yourself. You feel delight, happy, and joy. All over the world, the human mind nature is like this. Whenever any loss happens, you will feel sadness and depression. When there is a threat to self, you develop fear and anxiety. When there is a violation or injustice to yourself, you become angry. When there is an expansion, when there is addition to yourself, you become delighted. Now, the most important factor is, when the nature of the mind is such that when you are experiencing these emotions, then how can one be happy? How can one grow personally? So that is what we are going to discuss. And you might be surprised, why Sir is talking about this, why not stress? Naturally, the source of stress, basically, it is a byproduct of depression, byproduct of fear and anxiety, byproduct of anger. Now, let's look at the famous quotation by John Milton. If you are a favorite of reading novels, this is Paradise Lost. So, John Milton says, the mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell or a hell of a heaven. In other words, mind is a mysterious thing. It can turn a heaven into a hell or a hell into a heaven. That means even if you are undergoing lot of problems, lot of stress, still you can experience heaven in your mind. Similarly, when you have everything, a comfortable job, comfortable family, a comfortable car, comfortable house, even though it is a heaven for you outside in people's minds, but in your mind it is a hell. And there are two examples I would like to quote. One example, a person who was experiencing a heaven, and only for the example I am taking it. For example, Siddhartha, the owner of the Cave Coffee Day, who was having net worth of 35,000 crores, has palace, has luxury cars, has beautiful family, but one day he jumped into the Narmada river. If I am sorry, I'm not so sure. He jumped into a river and committed suicide. For many people, it is a dream to earn a crore of rupees. For someone, it is a dream to earn 10 lakhs. But having such a luxury life, 35,000 crores, he committed suicide because he experienced hell in his mind. Similarly, a person in most people's eyes experiencing a hell, the person who is living on the roads, but you can see that even though cars are moving, lorries are going, lot of noise, but he can have a comfortable sleep because he doesn't feel in his mind that is undergoing hell. So it's all in the mind. It is not outside at all. It is in the mind that whether you are experiencing heaven or hell. We'll take up the questions at after the presentation. And my approach to today's topic, how to handle stress, is basically through cognitive behavior therapy. Cognition is nothing but your thoughts. Your thought create your emotion. So thinking is the responsible for your emotion, whether you're feeling happy or sad. That's what I'm going to talk about today. These are the two popular cognitive therapists who have contributed and who has gifted us this beautiful psychotherapy, cognitive behavior therapy. One is R.N.T. Beck and second one is Albert Ellis. R.N.T. Beck is still alive, 94 years and still contributing to the world. Whereas Albert Ellis is passed away recently in 20th century. And these two people are responsible for developing cognitive behavior therapy. Now look at the this statement according to Epictetus, more than some 2,500 years ago. He was a Greek philosopher. He said, men are not disturbed. Men means includes women also. Men are not disturbed by events, but they are disturbed by the way they interpret the events. Exactly in his own words, by views. It is given by Epictetus. What do we understand from this quotation? That when a sad event happens, let's take the example of COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 is a virus or a bacteria that we leave it to the scientists. It is a deadly disease. Once enters, it will disturb your immune system. Okay. We take a example. If you take it in a negative way, oh my God, COVID-19, very dangerous. And then you start worrying, start taking extra precautions, or just if you think it in a negative way and conclude that I might also get coronavirus, and then you will develop lot of negative emotions like sadness and depression. Whereas you positively, when you can interpret coronavirus, or COVID-19 that, see, people are getting it, but the diagnosis is not, even though in India we have 130 crores, but not much people. Only according to the Indian, I think we are in, if I'm not wrong, some few lakhs. So I may not be affected, and if I get affected also, there is a proven treatment, and very soon there will be a vaccine. So this quotation talks about not the failure in marriage is not responsible for your negative emotions. The failure of job is not responsible. The event of losing a cell phone, losing a partner, developing a disease is not at all responsible. But if you interpret in a negative way, because of my wife I am suffering, because of my husband is I am suffering, because of this corona pandemic I have to undergo, I have to wear a mask, I have to maintain physical distance, then that will disturb you. It is not the event, it is your interpretation. The easy meaning I can give you, the easy interpretation. Most of the young boys and girls, when they fail 10th standard or when they fail intermediate, they conclude, they interpret the event, the failure of exam in a negative way, that if I fail in the exam means I'm a failure in life. That interpretation, that conclusion will lead them to suicide. So once again, I would like to tell you that it is in the interpretation. The situation is not responsible. The event is not responsible. But unfortunately, many people, they think event is the responsible for their misfortune, their depression. No, it's all in your own mind. If somebody calls you an idiot, it should not affect you unless you believe that you must be an idiot. Hope it is clear. Let's go to the next slide. Sorry about this. One second. So again, the mind has three dimensions. Unfortunately, I don't have the slide now. The first one, to make it very quick, the mind has positive thinking, negative thinking. And when you have positive thoughts that I'm intelligent, I'm good, the world loves me, then you'll have positive emotions like peace and happiness. But when you have a negative thoughts, like I am not good looking, I am not intelligent, I am a fool, you will have negative emotions like sadness and depression. Secondly, the mind has another dimension. Mind has reality and imagination. You can have real thoughts, you can have imagination thoughts. Like for example, in Telangana, one of the sub-inspectors committed suicide because he imagined there will be a negative consequences of his actions. But in reality, it is different. So you can have real thoughts, you can have imagination thoughts, but many people, especially psychiatric disorder patients, have imagination thoughts. And finally, third one, we have time concept in the mind, past, present, and future. Unfortunately, instead of enjoying the present moment, many people dwell into the past. They have guilty feelings. They feel bad about the past and they worry about the future instead of enjoying the present, because present contains past and future. So you have to understand these three things. Now let's go to another presentation. 1 minute. Srinivas, Rahul, will you? Rahul, will you? Okay. Before I go ahead, before I talk about SMILE and the stress management techniques, how to manage, and my technical support person will come. And if you have any quick questions, I would like to answer. I would love to answer. And we'll just wait for a minute. Let me finish this SMILE presentation. So generally, when you laugh, when you smile, your brain automatically releases positive neurotransmitters, positive hormones, and many people, and according to BBC survey in 2000, and it says, mute this one. Okay, can I go ahead, or if somebody has any quick question, we'll take questions for about 5 minutes because I told you it is interactive. And please raise your hand if you have any question. Or shall I continue? If nobody is raising hand, I think nobody has any doubt so far. I'll continue.
Meghana. Meghana.
Okay, Meghana, go ahead. Ask your question. What is on the speaker? Yeah, go ahead, Meghana. Okay, I think Meghana is not ready, so we'll continue with the presentation. Okay. Now the SMILE. I would like to give a this according to the BBC survey. They have observed babies. Babies means below 6 months, and adults. When they compared, any idea how many times a baby smiles per day? Any idea? You can type the answer in question and answer box. Any idea how many times a baby smiles in a day? This is an official survey. This is a research done by the BBC channel. I think everybody, it's a popular channel. Everybody is known to you. So without wasting time, anybody's answer?
Megha, don't know. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Rakesh one.
Okay. The baby smiles more than 500 times a day. More than 500 times a day. According to BBC survey, it is 500 to 550 times. And can anybody tell me how many times a adult smiles in a day? How many times an adult smiles in a day? Any idea? Okay, because the child smiles so much. Okay. Okay. Adult smiles, according to BBC survey, 15 to 20 minutes, 15 to 20 times only. Maybe that could be the reason people are unhappy. And look at the variation between a child and an adult. Where is 550 times and where is 10 to 15 times? Now, when you look at the SMILE definition, S stands for shows that you're special. SMILE, the abbreviation I'm giving you, shows that you're special. M stands for makes you important. I stands for increases your energy. And L stands for lifts up your spirits. And E stands for erases all your tensions. And I request all the participants to smile once on this important sacred day of World Mental Health Days. learn to smile, learn to smile. And Gandhiji, the Mahatma Gandhiji, the father of the nation, and the man responsible for the free air, the freedom we are enjoying, he said, your dress is not complete without a smile. That importance he has given to the smile. So learn to smile and learn to enjoy life. And once again, when you look at stress, is it outside or inside business? Is it thrown by outside or is it a inside job? Can anybody answer? Stress is created in the mind or stress is created outside, created by outside. And actually I forgot in the starting itself, I should have told you, any learning happens, three requirements: learner, teacher, and learning material. Now we are talking about our life. We are learning to manage stress. So the learner, that is you have come to the webinar, you are well motivated, you have lot of interest. So as a learner, you have all the qualities. As a teacher, I'm well prepared. Learning material is, we are learning about stress, that is everyday, day-to-day business everybody is carrying. So involve actively. After 2-3 slides, I'm going to stop and I'm going to make it as completely interactive. So let's quickly, and when you define what is stress, if you are a mathematician or a statistics lover, I can say stress is equal to, coping versus pressures equal to stress. That means your pressures are more than your coping, you develop stress. Other way around, if your coping skills are so better, that is below your pressures, there is a less stress. So what is important? Pressures are important or coping is important? Okay. So that is what today I'm trying to equip you with, coping skills. Let's come to the main topic. What is stress? Stress can be defined as our mental, physical, emotional, and behavioral reactions to any perceived demands or threats. So it can be mental stress, it could be physical, that means your heart beating, your breath. I'm sure everybody knows. Emotions, you feel very emotional, stressed out, you feel blank, or you feel like escaping, and your behavior, sitting in a corner, not interacting with anybody. And the best part is, in this definition, for the perceived demands or threats, like the COVID-19, it is a perceived demand, or even though it is a reality, but it is not you're not affected. But there is a perceived demand. I might also get affected. There is a threat. But at the same time, fortunately, we have preventive. If you take preventive measures, like recently, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said in his tweet and also in Facebook page that maintain social distance, like you wear the mask, wash your hands repeatedly, and change your clothes and make a clean environment, then you'll be out of stress. Okay, the moment something is thrown at you, for example, like your boss comes and tells you, I'm going to throw out of the job. Immediately, you decide to fight or flight. That means you fight, you try to face or you escape the thing. Or if somebody is trying to make you fearful by saying something or getting into argument with you, Either you fight or you give up. Now look at the manifestations of stress. And physically, your heart might race, your hands become clammy or sweaty, you shake, your breathing becomes rapid and shallow, your jaw tightens, and you might become light-headed or heavy-headed. Behaviorally, you might slutter. That means you won't be able to speak properly, look down, or avoid eye contact with the audience. And cognitively or mentally, your mind may go blank, or alternatively, your thoughts might race wildly. That means in clinical psychology or rehab psychology language, we say you must be having running thoughts, and you might have thoughts about making a mistake or looking ridiculous in front of your peers. That means your friends or family. Emotionally, you might feel anxious or fearful. And the good news is, stress is a normal part of life. You can't avoid stress. And experiencing some amount of stress in our lives is protective and adaptive. Our responses to stress help our minds and bodies to prepare for difficult challenges and to react appropriately in times of crisis. In fact, a certain amount of stress is necessary to help us perform at our best. Stress adds flavor, color, challenge, and opportunity to life. Without stress, life could become quite dull and unexciting. And I'm sure you might silent a bit now. And you might be experienced when any idea in India, when was the first case of COVID-19 was diagnosed? Any idea? We got the first case of COVID-19
March 7.
in January. First case was identified in Kerala. Now you can compare, and of course it has spread in March after 28th the Janata curfew in India, and people started getting awareness of what is COVID-19 or coronavirus. Now when you compare your reaction in March and reaction in October, do you think it is the same, or you feel more confident in dealing with that? Because the beautiful part of human mind is we have sensory adaptation. That means sensory adaptation, the best example I can give you, for example, when you enter a film theater, a cinema hall, when the movie has started, the moment you enter a hall, your eyes are, you are not able to see anything, your eyes are blank, you see only darkness. But in few seconds or in less than a minute, your eyes get adaptive to the environment, and you'll be able to see what is in front of you. That means your eyes will become adaptive to the environment. Similarly, our minds will get adaptive to environment. That's why when our near and dear somebody scolds, you don't get affected. That's their style. So you get adaptive. Okay, let me quickly go into the not all stress is bad. There are two types of stress. Distress is a continuous experience of feeling overwhelmed, oppressed, and behind in our responsibilities. It is the all-encompassing sense of being imposed upon by difficulties with no light at the end of the tunnel. Example of distress include continuous financial difficulties, continuous conflicts in relationships, especially in marital relations, excessive obligations continuously, managing a chronic illness, or experiencing a death of a loved one, or last word. experiencing some sort of painful experience. Now,
Height కూడా.
huh?
Height.
Yeah.
లేదా పక్కన.
Experiencing a trauma, like especially it happens in trauma like rape victims, or somebody is exposed to abuse or anything. Now the a good part of stress is called as eustress, is the other form of stress that is positive and beneficial. We may feel challenged, but the sources of the stress are opportunities that are meaningful to us. Okay, somebody has typed that
లేదు ఉంది.
okay, am I audible? ఇంకా రావట్లేదు కదా. Okay. I'm sorry, there's some technical difficulty. We are trying to our best to fix it. Just stay tuned. ఇంకొకటి ఆఫ్
ఒకసారి
చేసేసి.
మాట్లాడండి.
Hello. If I am not visible, at least am I audible? Somebody type on the. Okay, I'm able to, I think. Okay. So let me open the presentation. Video రావట్లేదు కదా. Okay, now it's fine.
ఏది?
ఒక్క నిమిషం, workshop. Okay. 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 Now,
నాకు
మీకు video రావట్లేదు.
తెలుసున్నాను.
Okay. Now, I think my video has some issues, so please bear with me and hope you are able to see the presentation. So, eustress is the other form of stress that is positive and beneficial. We may feel challenged, but the source of the stress are opportunities that are meaningful to us. And eustress helps provide us with energy and motivation to meet our responsibilities and achieve our goals. Examples: graduating from college, getting married, receiving a promotion, or changing jobs, or changing into our new home. However, if handled well, stress can increase motivation and stimulate us. If we have the resources to meet the demands of our environment, we can use stress in an effective way. Okay. Now, the example of eustress I can give, that the highest stress experienced by, can anybody tell me who's the most stressful person in the world? Which occupation? Can you type it on your question and answer box? Can anybody tell me who's the most highest stressful experienced guy or a girl on this earth, or a profession?
Surgeons.
Not surgeons, somebody type surgeons. Maybe temporarily we can say the medical doctors
Marketing.
who's handling this COVID-19 could be the example, but the highest stress is experienced by the occupation that is called the professionals working at ATC, that is air traffic control. Air traffic control staff, they undergo a lot of stress because even a split second, if they make a mistake, 1,000 people die. And next to ATC, the psychologist and psychiatrist, basically who are handling with suicide management, and next to that, doctors and police officers. But everybody takes in a positive and challenging way. I think let's go to the next one is, even though I wanted to talk more about what happens when stress happens to your body and mind, because one more thing you have to understand, there is an interface between mind and body. Whatever happens to your mind happens to your, that affects your body, and whatever affects your body affects your mind. Okay, just look into one. Why do we stress out? Essentially, we stress out for two main reasons. We perceive a situation as dangerous, difficult, or painful, or we don't believe we have the resources to cope. For example, an alcoholic husband and suddenly declares that he is going to divorce a wife, and the wife, instead of feeling happy, she feels that she doesn't have enough financial, emotional resources, so she undergoes stress. Or when you throw a student a challenge to give a presentation or to write an immediate exam, the student feels it as dangerous, difficult, or painful, then she undergoes stress. Okay. And I request all of you to read by yourself when it is affecting negatively some stress warning signals. So if somebody is complaining headache, somebody is complaining indigestion, stomach ache, sweaty palms, cold hands, feet, dizziness, easily fatigued or easily getting tired, muscle tension, back pain, tight neck, shoulders, racing heart, shallow breathing, restlessness, ringing in the ears, constipation, diarrhea. Behavioral symptoms, excessive smoking or drinking, or being bossy, eating too little or too much, or sleeping too little or too much, critical attitude of others, short-tempered, procrastination. And driving too fast, grinding of teeth, overuse of alcohol, already told you, inability to finish tasks, nail biting, fidgeting. Emotional, bothered by unimportant things, nervousness, anxiety, boredom, edginess, being on the edge, irritable, feeling burned out, feeling powerless, crying easily, overwhelming pressure, anger, loneliness, unhappiness, depression, moody, and feeling helpless. And as you know, if you are psychology students, you can understand that we can experience, like you can tell if somebody is experiencing helplessness, hopelessness, and worthlessness. That is definitely the symptom of depression. And you have to understand stress leads to depression. Cognitive symptoms, that is thinking, trouble thinking, difficulty concentration, forgetfulness, lack of creativity, expecting too much from others, inability to make decisions, constant worry, loss of humor, being self-critical, being pessimistic. And this slide, you can see that how stress can be damaging to the immune system. And sometimes it will be very dangerous and very negative in nature. So this is, I'm not going to into this. I'm also not looking into this. Let's focus on the solutions. Okay. Now, let's look into the stress management technique, whether it is COVID-19. Basically, the topic is today is COVID-19. So I'll focus specifically and talk in general. So the first 3 A's, the first one is alter. Remove the source of stress by changing something, use problem solving, direct communication, organization, planning, and time management. Now, during this COVID-19, just modify your stress or modify your thoughts by problem solving. Understand, for example, I don't know some country, now it is coronavirus zero. Look at the example could be China itself. The origin of coronavirus is China, but China is out of coronavirus. So look into what happened to the country, how they have monitored the environment, how they have monitored the people, and other countries also, they are out of coronavirus. Direct communication, talk to professionals and understand what are the symptoms and maintain safety precautions. That is social distancing, wearing the mask, and not going outside unless it is essential, and cleaning and be cleanly. And organize your time, planning and time management. So, according to the medical doctors, if you work out, and in general stress also, when you work out, that's why there's a famous quotation, the free antidepressant, the free anti-stress is exercise. But many people, they say that we don't have time, I don't have mood, because once you experience, once you do an exercise, an average of 1 hour, a jogging or a brisk walking or going to gym or doing yoga, it will develop, it will attack the stress, it will reduce the stress, it releases endorphins, and it really releases certain neurochemicals that you can handle the stress in a more better way. The second A is avoid, remove oneself from the stressful situation or figuring out how not to go there in the first place. Let go, say, learn to say no, and be a master of your own self. That means delegate the job to yourself. For example, I've seen a lot of people traveling in flights, and for your kind information, the air travel only got coronavirus to India in the international flights. So you can avoid going out of station, going to a place which is vulnerable, which is not clean, which is affected by coronavirus. In the government language, it is called containment zone. So you can avoid simply. And accept. Accept that the situation is stressful and resource yourself well so that you can deal with it. Also working to change your perception. See it as a challenge rather than as a threat. So when you talk to yourself, now there was a fashion in beginning of the 20th century. They talk about NLP. People say NLP trainer, but as a clinical psychologist, I still have my own. I will not comment on that. So in neuro-linguistic programming, what they say that the most important thing is, what do you talk to yourself every day? Because that will affect your personality or your behavior. So when you talk to yourself, then you say when the situation, when it is cannot be avoided. Now the coronavirus situation cannot be avoided. So you accept the situation, but increase your coping skills by exercising, by maintaining safety precautions, as I already told you, or if possible, just be wherever you are and see it as a challenge rather than as a threat. Now, for example, let me give you some examples how my known people have accepted and developed coping skills. And if I'm not boasting myself, I have worked so hard, I lost 11 kgs in lockdown period. Similarly, my friends started writing poems, started writing novels, started focusing on self-discipline, started helping, and they have understood, and it has brought many people, the family together. Many people started enjoying, many people started understanding how other persons are important, and it has brought family together. That's why, if possible, I'll try to play one video less than a 3 minute, and the video title is "Stunning Optimism: How Coronavirus Can Be Useful to the Humankind." And people started respecting material, respecting human feelings, also respecting everything. So these are the three strategies you can avoid stress. And if the audience is interested, I'll definitely play that video. Please remind me. Okay. And there are some more suggestions for reducing stress in COVID-19. Find a support system, find your partner or your friends, and change your attitude. That attitude, take things in a positive way and try to see positive in negatives. Try to understand positive behaviors of your partner, positive behaviors of the world. Be realistic, get organized and take charge, that is self-discipline, starting from the workout. Take breaks, give yourself my time. So go for a long walk or go to another place which is safe. For example, if it is safe, take a break for a week or a month. I've seen lots of people being stressful, but they never take a break. They say we don't have time. But my dear audience, if you exist only, the world is there for you. If you don't exist, the world is not there. So you have to take care. So you have to develop self-care, self-love. Take good care of yourself. Learn to say no, which when you don't like to do things. And these are: get regular exercise, get a hobby, do something different, do meditation, do relaxation, slow down, laugh, use humor. When you laugh, so slow down, laugh, use humor, laugh a lot, learn to relax. Many people, the moment they get up till they go to bed, they are under stress. I don't know for what. Just learn to relax yourself. And if this is in detail, if somebody is interested, they can read out. I can keep. So I'll just give 1 or 2 minutes. You can read by yourself. Because I've already explained. And I would like to talk about this beautiful quotation: life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how do you react to it, how we react to it. The corona pandemic, let's say it is the 10%, but 90% is your reaction. If you talk to yourself positively, I can handle it, this will be over soon. But if you think it's very difficult, then it becomes difficult. So this is be realistic kind of thing, already explained. Get organized to take charge, time management, self-management, take breaks, take good care of yourself. If you take aromatherapy or take some massage, take or just dance or sing, learn to say no. Many people have problems because they never say no, because they're busy pleasing others. But remember, when you're busy pleasing others, you hurt yourself, you insult yourself, your self-esteem at stake. So get regular exercise. I want all the audience to read this seriously. get a hobby, do something different, learn dance or learn some art or learn some music. So when something is bothering you, slow down and know your limits, or try to consult a professional clinical or rehabilitation psychologist. Laugh, use humor, I've already told you. Learn to relax, yoga, meditation, pranayama. That's all. Thank you and have a relaxed day. And it is hope the floor is open for question and answers. I'll be very happy to answer your questions. And if you're interested, I can play that video. Yes, on. Video on, na? Video on, na? Mic on, na?
Sir, Monday exit Monday.
వచ్చిందా? Okay, I'll be, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Speaker beta. And I would like to tell you, generally my students are aware of this. When you ask a question, I am not interested in your intelligence or your smartness. There are no right or wrong questions. When you question, you learn better and it will help others also to learn better. So feel free to ask questions and clarify your doubts. Because after a class or after a presentation, if there are no doubts, it indicates two things. First, you have understood everything and everything is clear. Second, you have understood nothing.
One question, sir. If a person is smiling or laughing all the time, that is an indication that they have a lot of stress. Is it true, sir?
Question, huh?
Oh.
No, you can unmute. Somebody can unmute and ask me the question. Okay, somebody is asking if somebody is smiling.
Laughing at all times.
Okay, smiling and laughing all the time. So
Is it a stress symptom?
it
Or
is.
the other thing?
Yeah, it could be. You can take it in a two ways. If somebody is laughing inappropriately, smiling inappropriately, so you have to know the person. You have to talk to the person if somebody is having any issue, or it is a person's trait, a personality trait that he smiles and laughs all the time. There are many individuals, even though they experience stress, they have a habit of smiling, they have a habit of laughing. So you'll have to go deep and try to understand that particular person. We cannot say that if somebody is crying or somebody is smiling, it is an indication of stress. Of course, if it is a continuous crying, definitely it's an indication of stress. So smiling inappropriately, laughing inappropriately, you have to understand. Next question.
Stress symptoms.
I've already explained in my slides stress symptoms. There are physical symptoms, there are cognitive symptoms, there are behavioral symptoms. Physically, sleeplessness and some kind of pain in the body. and cognitive, that is mentally, loss of concentration, feeling depressed, and behaviorally, not mixing with others, and trying to uh, and basically, basically talk there is a less care of self care, not dressing properly, not interacting properly. You can go to the, I think, I have explained everything in detail. Can anybody unmute and can tell me the feedback about the presentation and ask questions? You are welcome.
Everybody seems very clear.
Okay. I think Meghna was trying to ask a question. Meghna, you're still there? Okay, Meghna, if you're still there, try to give me the feedback, and if you have any question, ask me.
She's not this.
Okay, I think she's not there. I can see Dr. Usha. Dr. Usha, can you please unmute yourself and can you give me the feedback, or if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer you. Okay, and participants, please hold on for 10 minutes. I'm planning to play a video. I'm also planning to teach you 2, 3 techniques to handle stress. So that I'll try to make a live demonstration. I think Dr. Usha is trying to unmute herself. What's the problem, Rahul?
What's the connecting our?
I think she's unable to connect. I can see Sharif, Yasin Sharif is there. Can you unmute yourself and can you start speaking? Shirisha is there. Shirisha. I think there's some connectivity problem. You can type your questions.
Wonderful session. No questions. Concept is so clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Somebody has given a wonderful feedback, positive feedback. Everything is clear. It's a wonderful session. And so I think participants are having problems in unmuting themselves. There's a connectivity problem. I'm sorry about that. Actually, we have selected the best app. So let me play the video first and then teach you the techniques. Now the time is 5:25. I'll take exactly 10 minutes and I'll try to close it by 5:35. Thank you for staying with us. Give me a second to play the video. WhatsApp లో పంపిస్తున్నా. Yeah, I'm not able to find that stunning optimism video. First of all, the technique what I'm going to teach, no thoughts, no stress. So I want you to experience this exercise. No thoughts, no stress. So I want the audience to sit comfortably and take some few deep breaths. Try to imitate me. I'm going to open my glasses. Try to imitate me. And remember, any breathing exercise, it could be pranayama or any breathing exercise, never try to control your breath. That is dangerous. That will leave it to yogis and senior people. Never try to control your breath. So what we are going to do, we are going to take few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Never try to control your breath. Start. Okay. Thank you. And just close your eyes and bring your concentration on your breath. Simply observe how normal way, how the breath is going out, coming in, touching your nostrils, whether it is from left nostril or right nostril, how it is traveling, just try to observe. Just observe your own breath for about 2-3 minutes and just practice. I will tell you the next step. Just practice for 2-3 minutes. Close your eyes and observe your own breath. The traveling of your breath. And you can observe there is inhalation, there is exhalation. The breath is going, the breath is coming without your own effort, which is responsible for life. Now, after practicing, after observing your own travel of your own breath, try to think any thought while breathing. Try to think any thought while breathing. Full, complete attention on your breath and thinking. Complete attention, complete observation on your breath and trying to think. Is it possible? Can you think simultaneously and observe your own breath? Please try this experiment for a minute. Try this experiment for a minute. Give complete attention, observation on your breath, and at the same time try to think. You can imagine someone or you can imagine anything, but I feel after practice, and you definitely say, observing your own breath and thinking is quite complicated. It is difficult. And in certain people who are well experienced meditators, they say completely, no, we cannot think. So whenever you experience any stress, any tension, bring your focus on your breathing or listen to music. And the good news, any anger, any fear, any negative emotion, especially anger, which is a dangerous instrument for dangerous instrument for all the crimes in the world and which will spoil your relationships. But when you become angry, it will stay with you. According to certain people, it will go in few minutes. For some people, it will stay maximum 20 minutes, according to research. If you have a continuous anger because of a strained relationship or a strained boss, that is a different story. But a normal anger goes away in few minutes. Maximum, it can stay up to 15 to 20 minutes. So slow down, try to give yourself time, go for a walk, listen to music, don't talk to anybody. Because in anger, you'll really damage the relations. So now the technique is, whenever you feel stressed, the easy technique would be bring your awareness, bring your focus on your breathing, or listen to your wonderful music, or go for a walk. Don't open your mouth. And in one of the movies, like said, try to count numbers backwards, start from 100, 99, 97, 98, 96, 95, 94. So what is happening? There is a diversion happening. And I can tell you my own experience with my mother. Whenever my mother is very angry, when I was a child, what she used to do, she will collect all the dirty clothes in the house and she will clean it. And when she's in anger, she cleans it so cleanly. So she used to divert. Maybe I'll not say this is but diversion is a wonderful example. Okay, if anybody, okay, this is one, and let me search for a video. And if anybody has a question, please give the feedback about this exercise. Just now we have done on breathing and thinking. Let me search for a video. Okay. I think now, as a promise, I think now it is 5:35. Thank you for your patient listening. See, there could be technical difficulties. Somebody is tapping on my WhatsApp personal inbox. They were not able to see the slides. They're not able to unmute themselves. They're not able to type in the chat windows. I'm really sorry about that. And for people who are able to see, who are able to listen, I feel I have done justice to my presentation. Hope I am useful to you. And I'm going to provide my email ID. If you want more suggestions, or unfortunately, if you are undergoing any stressful situation, please write to me. I'll try to do my best. And Rahul, type your mail ID.
Yes.
drkrishna.nimh@gmail.com. And some of you, if you have pen and paper, you can write it down. It is very simple. DR, the first two alphabets of doctor, Dr. Krishna, krshna.nimh@gmail.com. Okay, you can see in the chart window my email ID. Once again, I'm telling alphabet bit by bit. Doctor, the first two alphabets, Dr. Krishna.nimh@gmail.com. You can see it in the chat window. And thank you very much. And I'm blessed to present this webinar on the sacred day of World Mental Health Day. Thanks to my authorities, my director Anuradha Dalmia Madam, my deputy director respected Major B.V. Ramkumar Garu, and my coordinator, and that means our NIPID coordinator Srinivasulu, assistant professor in vocational training, and of course my technical head Rahul Verma, Actually, his name is Rahul Sintre. So, who has been very active in introducing web platforms to us. So, on behalf of our director and deputy director, I thank Srinivaslu and Rahulu for wonderful support. Thank you. And I wish you'll have a good night, stress-free day, and try to sleep like a baby and enjoy the sleep. Bye-bye. Have a nice evening. Okay, finally, our coordinator Srinivaslu will say a few words.
Thank you, Krishna sir. Wonderful session. Thank you so much for your valuable information regarding this stress management. So much amount of information shared in this session. So as of now, we conducted a series of webinars in this Mental Health Awareness Week. So I thank you one and all for this week-long programs and attending for the today's webinar. Thank you so much.